Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. It's another beautiful day, and I need to know what I'm going to say before I say it. Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. It's another beautiful day on the farm. We've been doing a little bit of evaluating on some things that we've got going on here, and it's time to make some changes. So stick around with us for a little bit. Let's talk about what those changes are. But first, we need to go down, do a little bit of mowing, and get an area set up for the sheep. It's time to move them to a new paddock. So hang out with us for a little while. We're going to be using the flail mower today. Don't know how that's going to go. Last time I used that flail mower, I had all kinds of trouble out of it. It just kept bogging down. Don't know what the deal is. But anyway, hang around for a little bit. Let's go move some sheep, do some mowing, and talk about some big changes we got coming up here on the farm. All right, so it's moving day on the sheep. We're not talking a whole lot about sheep lately. Yeah, we've got a new one out here. Of course, he's a few weeks old now. We just hadn't never got around to catching him on video when we were out doing stuff. But this is an area the sheep's been on for a few days. This was where we had some pigs at one point in time, and it just hadn't come back in. It has been so dry. We're just not getting a lot of good grass growing right now, I think is part of our problem. But anyway, the sheep are very fussy. If they don't move when they think they should move, they move themselves. So what we're going to do today, they are aggravating. What we're going to do today, we're going to move them. I've got some area right here. It's not very big. So we're going to take the mower, we're going to mow around the perimeter so we can get our fence up and avoid any grounding out on tall grass. So we're going to mow around the perimeter down here, and then we're going to go back up the hill, kind of past where the tractor is, back up to the top of the hill, make a loop. We might make two loops around this thing, just so we've got a nice good wide swath for our fence. And got a group of feeder pigs over here to the right. This is where our feeders are at. Their line is over there, so we'll cut up pretty close to that. But we're gonna do a little mowing here, do a little trimming, get these sheep another good spot to move to, and hopefully we can buy us a couple more days of some of this tall grass. So let's get to mowing, see what happens. That was aggravating as a rock in the shoe right there now. Actually, this lower section ended up working out about right. So we pulled 2 sections. One starts here. It's going to end right over there. Goes back up around onto this small area down here at the bottom. And that'll be fine for a day, maybe 2, before we got to move again. But I mowed enough up there towards the top of the hill back up that direction to we can get at least 3 sections in up there, and then that'll last them for a couple days before we go back out onto the top main field. So Sandra and I are going to finish putting in this fence, getting it set up, and we'll get those sheep moved over here and see how they do with it. Is the fence hot?
Yeah.
Do you feel it?
No.
Let me go turn it up.
Felt it there.
Y'all, right before I turned the camera on, I told her, I said, have you turned the fence off? She said, no, it ain't hot, I ain't worried about it. Well, apparently it's hot. So now she's trying to monkey it around. She got it. She's a trooper. Come on, sheep, 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 sheep.
Oh, cheep, cheep, cheep.
That's pretty simple. Sheep move. In a previous video, or somewhere along the way, I know I've talked about it, evaluating what you have going on your farm and looking at the different enterprises independently of themselves, also as part of the entire farming operation. But you've got to look at each individual enterprise and see, is that enterprise valuable to you in terms of making you money, making money for your farm, and all that kind of thing. And we've sat down, we've looked at it, we've looked at some hard numbers, we've thought a lot about it. And in terms of the return on our investment of both money and time, we have determined that the sheep are just not a good return on either the investment that we make in cash, or the investment that more particular, the investment that we make in time. Because we do have a small flock. They're slower growing animals than the pigs. The gestation on a sheep is about 150 days, or about 5 months. And then we've got to keep a lamb, 9-10 months before we can, get a return back on that initial mama that we had. So just looking at the numbers, we've just determined that the sheep are not a good investment for us on this farm. They may work very well for you on your farm, but for what we're doing, it's just not working. We feel like that time would be better spent, the money would be better spent on the enterprises that are making us money and that are profitable for the business, primarily our pigs, and to a little bit of a lesser degree, our meat chickens. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to be getting rid of the sheep. We've got an auction that we're potentially going to take those to. If you're within central North Carolina or somewhere close, and you'd be interested in a flock, I think there's 18 or 19. If you'd be interested in a flock of sheep, some females, we got a couple of uncut male or unbanded males, and we got a couple of wethers in there. Send me a message. Send me an email, chuck@SheratonParkFarms.com. Be glad to talk to you about these sheep. If it's something you're interested in, we'd be glad for you to come take a look at them, see if we can work out a deal, and see if we can get these sheep off our farm and concentrate on a different enterprise. So as you can see, this thing keeps bogging down, and I know we're in some real heavy, thick grass, and it doesn't matter if I raise it up keep it low, adjust the angle of attack using the hydraulic top link on this thing to change the angle that drum is spinning in there, but it still continues to just bog down in this heavy stuff. And another channel we watch, a Ritter Bit Will Do, I'll post a link to John's channel down below. A little while back he done kind of a test on a flail mower versus a brush cutter, bush hog I think is what a lot of people call it, but a rotary bush cutter. And he said that he thought that the flail mower done better than the brush cutter did, and he could mow faster. I don't know if it's the type of grass that he's trying to cut, if it's the area that he's cutting in. I think one of the differences is he's using the hammers versus the knives on the on his flail mower. So just sometimes it seems to work great, sometimes it doesn't. I ran the RPMs up pretty heavy, and Saundra fussed at me a little bit for doing that. But anyway, I'm gonna take this out. We're gonna mow some more area where we just moved the sheep off of. It's been eaten down pretty good, so we're gonna go in and clip that pasture. We need to clip it anyway to get stuff kind of restarted and regenerated. But let's take it out there. Let's try it out there and see how it goes. Well, we got about, I don't know, maybe half of the pasture mowed. There's still some kind of behind the camera and some down here to the right that still needs to be mowed. And that thing just continues to bog down. Whenever I hit some of this big heavy stuff, it just continues to bog down. I've got to either raise it really, really high or take the angle, make the angle really wide for the knives to cut across the top of that and kind of clear that out. But anyway, we'll continue to play with it. Have thought about maybe just trading out and trying a brush cutter and seeing if that works. I was thinking while I was mowing, maybe the tractor's just not strong enough to pull that mower. It's a 6-foot mower. It's a 40 horsepower tractor. You know, for all intents and purposes, I would think that it would be able to manage that. So anyway, there may be a change coming on the mowing side. Back on the sheep, I know the question's going to come up. Angel will be staying. Angel's not going to go anywhere. She'll be staying. She'll end up living with Fred and Barney, our goats, up near the house. So Angel's not going anywhere, but the sheep are going to go. But anyway, I think that's it. If you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Follow along with us. We appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.